not NL to clean up fights.
And that's an important thing that you point out here, actually, because you've got a top lane Shen, remember. You've got Impact here, who gets to go first item Spirit Visage, have 20% cooldown reduction on his Stand United, and keep showing up to keep making plays for these guys. So here we are into the Rift, Game 2.
So, Game 2 loaded up. This time around, SK Telecom are wearing the blue trunks. And of course, the Gamma Bears are in the red. We'll have to see how well they can take charge of this matchup. I do prefer the damage options for Gamma, but if they are unable to kill through the shields of Lee Sin and Shen and the invulnerability of Lissandra, you can have all the damage in the world if you can't make it all stick to the right targets.
I'll see if they can land enough crowd control together here, Gamma Bears. The early battle line's drawn. No big deal.
I think wins through the spider the opposite direction to throw SKT off.
Yeah.
Because I was like, things
Mind
going
games.
the wrong way, dude. Right now, Gamma Bears backing away from the river. SKT, they've got a little bit of a ward over by the red buff side, and this Spiderling does manage to find SKT out. So they'll be aware of their positioning as Gamma Bears, once again with a more of a defensive start here.
Yeah, so this little piglet's going to go back into his own jungle. Nope. Maybe? Okay, he is. I got it right. And here actually is going to be the lane matchup situation, because I feel like Varus Annie has so much poke and the ability to turn around and all in from Thresh that life's going to get difficult for the SKT duo lane. Notice that the Bears are already set up here to be in lane. They're already prepared to do all kinds of fucking things, right? Early pink ward on the Tri-Brush. They're trying to come into this unspotted. Oh, that blind hook.
But we do see Sword Art has his stun available, and you see that Pumandu realized he did not want none of that. Does manage to back away. That position revealed, and I think Gamma Bears a little bit of early vision on that side of the map. Impact and Bengi now going to start off on the blue side. Well, it looks like Wins may actually be soloing that red buff. Actually, he's got the help of Stakes, so they're both starting on the top half of the map.
And that's interesting because neither team got deep enough wards to know where people were starting. Anytime you start the jungle with only your top laner, you risk getting invaded, you risk bad things happening to you, and neither side capitalized on that. They both got away with the risk. There's a battle on Pumandu early on!
Oh, they've got him out. Ignite is ticking. NL decides not to flash for this one. Flash and barrier available, but that's a lot of damage, and Pumandu is eating through his consumables.
He's going to have to chug a lot of those, but honestly, he started out with just potions and wards, and Mandu will be back to full health pretty soon. Sword Art's going to run low on mana while charging up the stun.
Ignite was burned by Sword Art's Annie rather. So not going to have that available if they decide to jump on Pumandu and Piglet. As it stands, once again, NL and Sword Art with the early lane control thanks to that trade. NL doing the best he can to pull ahead as far as the CS.
And what I'm going to sort of watch as well is how much of that CS goes to Sword Art in order to get those mana-less costs. But look at that, the early pink ward allows Wins to get through. Bengi knows this is already poised to counter gank.
Well, we'll see how well these ganks work. Wins unable to secure kills in the previous game, whereas Bengi did get first blood with his jungle Vi. The hook catches NL. Rumandi goes forward. The flash comes out. Now NL is going to have his barrier available. Does pop it, but it's not going to be enough. In the background, Wins doing the best he can to trade. Now Bengi is sticking to him. Sonic Wave, can it catch? That is the question. It does! He follows up. Sword Art's in trouble. 100 HP. The volatile Spiderling goes down. The cocoon does not connect.
This could be 3.
Gets a safeguard shield. We do see the Sonic Wave gets dodged by the repel. Wins lands down. Does get taken out. And that's a 3-for-0 in favor of SKT.
Amazing play by these guys. At the end of it, they donated the kill to Piglet just to give him double buffs and that extra gold. Really nice hook there by Mandu. I'm glad for SKT that they picked the Thresh up early on, because you make plays like that and everyone gets really sad when they start dying.
Well, 2-0-1 on Piglet's Ezreal. He's going to have a massive spike in power as Impact is also building ahead in the CS. Look how cheeky that is. Arcane Shift and Mystic Shot, and then just takes the Lantern out, and Piglet says, what you going to do? I've got red, I've got blue, and he's going to continue piling down the damage onto NL and Sword Art.
My buffs are red, my buffs are blue. When I throw Mystic Shots, I don't have a rhyme.
It was a good attempt nonetheless. Is now Maple and Faker
They'll hit you?
are trading damage back and forth here. Maple 2 CS behind that of Faker's Lissandra. And he's going to have a lot of mobility to deal with the damage that Faker has. Wins on the sideline, no red, all buffs available for him. So Faker, as long as he doesn't get caught by too much CC, he can just use that claw to get out clean.
If they're going to go in at all, it'll probably be off of a cannon minion or anytime Faker goes in for one of these last hits. But you just notice how safely Faker's able to play. Wins not having flash, can't go for like a flash cocoon to at least force the summoners out of Faker. There's just no way that Wins gets into range in time. Faker doesn't hug any of those walls.
Well, I do see that Faker's using the range of Lissandra. Going to be throwing out those shards and the splash damage associated. We do see that Stake in Impact now continue to farming up, but Stake is half the CS down. Impact Shen already at 37 to Stake's 18. There is a decent wave in front of him, but as it stands, and lane heavily in favor of Impact once again.
And that is actually a massive lead. Rumble can, do okay with just experience and not much gold, but that kind of a lead is going to let Shen, just like last time for Impact, ignore the enemy back line and just tank forever here. This is a ticking time bomb that I don't think the Bears really want to deal with here. This is dangerous.
Well, with that overheat and flame splitter, there's a lot of damage going onto Impact. So if Stake is able to get some assistance from Maple or from Wins, maybe a kill can swing that lane a little bit more in his favor. As it stands, Piglet, with all of that gold he's accrued, is just spamming out, making use of the buffs that he's got in lane, and just trying to maintain control. And Wins, basically just farming up lane tax here. He's stuck in this lane for the last sort of minute or so, and he's not really having an impact. He's 10 CS to 24. It's not making ganks. As it stands, Bengi does jump onto Stake. Doesn't have his Dragon's Rage available. You see the shield coming up from Stake. He pops down the Equalizer just to clear out some of the waves and just continue farming, but not entirely convinced that was needed.
That wasn't. He wasn't going to have the damage to turn that fight back around, unfortunately. Wins, yeah, they spawned, bro. You can take those away. So at least that was smart, though. Wins, you can clearly still a good player here by going for the counter jungling, spotting out that Bengi was on that side of the map. But of course, by doing this, Wins ran through a ward himself, and Bengi steals away a big golem. So both these guys happy to steal with vision, and
Now Stake is in trouble. We do see the resonating strike follows through Stake. He's burning on the HP. Ignite is ticking down as well. Impact forced to fall backwards, and with the aid of the tower, Stake does survive, but he manages to get out. And you imagine, if Equalizer is available there, maybe could have turned that one around. Maybe could have set up some kills. Piglet, now with the buffs worn off, he's pushing away basically with the aid of his minions.
Yeah, but mind you that Stake had already gone back to base one time already, had to go back again just from those ganks right here, and now you're seeing pressure on the bottom side of the map as well. These, unlike last game where the duo lane had a really good early lead and the Bears almost took some kills, the Bears almost took a kill, but they're losing in minion kills pretty rapidly, in addition to all the champion kills. And mind you, Piglet hasn't even had to go back to base just yet, so he's sitting on a mountain of cash right here, 2,100 gold. And you're just going to see Piglet be able to take over the game if he wants to. That damage we were concerned about, he's going to have it.
Yeah, we see right now, NL, with that first recall, he comes back and look at that True Shot Barrage plus every other ability there from Piglet, connecting and dropping him down to half HP. Remember, Sword Art does not have any GP10 on his runes or masteries. He went all in for that ability power, and Sword Art falling further behind. That early game kill potential of the Annie has not been made use of just yet.
And look at the build that even Mondi went for here. Early boost of speed to help create catches as well. The SKT lineup are going aggressive with this one. Piglet has finally gone back to base for some items, but you're gonna see them keep trying to make plays. Bengi, even without a ton of kill gold, okay, 1 kill and assist, again boost mobility, again trying to make plays. This time though, just a little bit too late for the blue buff.
Well, blue buff was secured there by Maple, so maybe the additional spamming power of that mana and CDR can work in their favor. Mandu hanging out on the side. They're trying to set up a death sentence over the wall. Now, there's no vision in that tri-bush there for the Gamma Bears, so they've got to be a little careful as that lane is definitely pushing against the SKT tower, so it's risky for Gamma to be that far up.
It just allows them to recall back, though. I don't think they had a ward that spotted that Bengi had gone there, but generally speaking, they knew that SKT's dual lane hadn't gone back yet, just got the quick shove, which will allow them to equalize items a little bit here, but there's just such an item difference. Instead, though, it's the ward control game now turned on for SKT. It's them saying, all right, mid-game's begun, we're ahead, let's start taking objectives.
Well, we do see that Bengi and Bumandu are hanging around in the river. They were putting some wards down, and they have started this one off, both of which are level 6. Faker's coming to help out, and Gamma Bears are going to have to start wondering where are our lane opponents, but it doesn't look like anyone is going to be able to get there in time to contest. Dragon number 1 of Game 2 gets secured by SKT.
This is a good start for these guys. The Koreans looking poised to 2-0 this match if they can keep it going. You've seen this battle now between Stake and Impact.
Oh, do you see the trades going back and forth? Equalizer goes out, clears the wave down, and Stake managing to at least hold on to a 10 CS deficit. He forces Stake backwards, there's not really kill potential from either of those champions just yet. Spirit of Visage, Spectre's Cowl picked up their impact, working towards that Spirit Visage.
Yeah, and you're going to see Impact not really take damage for the rest of his landing phase. He's got a lot of health sustain, he's got the shield, and of course the cowl as well for the magic resist. So it's going to be a difficult life for Stake, which is okay as Rumble to just sit there and free farm. It just depends on how well he can last it, because here comes Bengi!
Oh, Bengi once again comes in, Dragon's Rage goes backwards, Sonic Wave does connect, follows up with the resonating, one more auto attack. Bengi and Impact just picking up an easy kill onto Stake.
And good job at Bengi disturbing the piece right there. He's not going to let that guy free farm. They're just going to force the issue. Good taunt flash, though, by Impact to set that up. And here's another one in mid with Shen.
Here comes Stand United. Maple is going to do the best he can to get away. Flashes the taunt. Spirit Rush is not available. Will be in a few seconds. Faker follows the Claw of Doom to end Maple's life. Now the Death Sentence connects onto Sword Art. He tries to flash away. True Shot Barrage into Arcane Shifters. Piglet and Pumandu pick up a kill. And do you see the shield going up? But that's out of tower range. Pumandu, 210 HP, is able to scare NL away.
No, just about a half-second late and actually casting the ultimate. That would have been a kill secured right here. And you can just see the harass that you're going to do. He knows Winds can't kill him off in the minion wave and puts himself in danger just for no good reason. And now Bengi, you're seeing, knowing that the enemy junglers in the mid lane, says, I can steal away the golems. Realizes they actually weren't cleared since last time he countered jungle. Says, fine, I'll go back to base.
Alright, just decides to recall. Gonna go up to those double golems as it stands. You can see him moving on the mini-map. But once again, SKT find themselves 5,000 gold ahead. This time at the 12-minute mark. This match's early game has been significantly more in favor of the Korean powerhouse, and there's no more room for error here if you're a Gamma Bears, member. You cannot afford to give away more kills or more gold. Mechanically, they're keeping up fairly even in CS.
Sure.
They just haven't made the plays count.
And that's always been sort of the issue is kind of, I feel like the days are gone of teams that could sit there passively, give up a kill or a dragon once in a while and just say, we'll play for late game. The teams that come back are the teams that actually make plays, create openings, and get some kills back in their favor. But unfortunately, it's Bengi the one who's making all the plays here. Bears are looking for mid, I just don't know.
Oh, that is a flash cocoon. It doesn't manage to land as Maple saves the charm. Does catch it out onto Bengi, but flash burned from Winds there. And actually, nothing really earned. Faker was able to get out. This time around, the Death Sentence doesn't land, and NL is safe for the time being. And
that was just a straight-up dodge, even though that was probably the right play to try to go for. Not only was Bengi already there, but the cocoon missed. Bengi's still running around. Early Sightstone as well for him. So this actually helps Bengi make ganks happen, knowing no counter gank is here, even though they're already ahead in gold.
We do see Bengi continue to roam around the jungle here. We do see that Faker is joining him, so probably just going to wait for this blue buff to spawn up. Or they may be deciding to go for a tower dive. This is going to be a 4v3 in the bottom lane.
This is going to be very successful for SKT. In fact, the turret likely not be enough.
We'll see how this works out. There comes the Claw of Doom. They land a massive Glacial Doom, and that's just melted. Double kill for Faker. He does get shut down by the Ignite, and the Tibbers of Sword Art in the background, and NL, with the aid of the tower, forces Pumandu to flash. But that was just instant burst in conjunction with that True Shot Barrage.
It's a really, really nice play by these guys. The early starts on helping that one. The dive!
It's not over yet. Piglet and Bengi go forward. NL's the first victim is now Bengi and Piglet. Turn onto Maple. They carry on chasing. Maple doesn't have Spirit Rush available. Piglet getting the movement speed from the Phage there. Is going to able to sidestep. Mystic Shot doesn't connect. And it does allow SKT to get out cleanly. But another kill on the board onto NL.
Good dive there by SKT overall. I actually like Piglet. He Mystic Shot it, expecting Maple to dodge, but Maple didn't dodge far enough down to make it connect. He actually led his target, though.
We do see the charm goes out. That doesn't connect. Maple now forced a little bit backwards. Here comes Winds from the side. There's no smite available. He picks up a kill. That's onto Bengi. Now it turns onto Pumandu. The cocoon slowed him down. And look at that box slow. Immensely powerful and allows Pumandu to get away. Blue buff has been started and this will be secured by Maple. So at least another kill on the board. And importantly, blue buff for Maple.
Definitely a good job by the Bears. This is, by the way, I think Maple's first blue buff of the game. Or sorry, of the tournament. I believe, in fact. But that's really good there by the Bears. Turning around fights, NL surviving the tower dive initially and getting one for it. It was Maple coming back and trying to get another one as the dive continued. The team showing up for the blue buff. The Bears have started to make some actual aggressive moves in terms of looking for fights, but they've got to keep doing this to pull themselves back in. SKT are just going to continue to take ward control, continue to take buffs, and they've got to get punished for it for the Bears to have a chance.
Yeah, 8,000 gold is the difference between the two teams right now. We see Faker returning to this mid lane, 125 CS to the 110 of Maple's Ari. Bengi secures another buff for himself. He's currently 2-1-4. Death Sentence doesn't connect, as we do see Wynn's able to repel over to the red buff and gets out cleanly. But with an Oracles on the back pocket of Humandu's Thresh, they're getting real good vision control as you see Piglet and Impact on the top lane.
And I like pointing out what Mandu's done with his build right here. Actually, this could be a fight. It's going to be close.
Ignite is burning. Piglet is going to Arcane Shift away. Impact gets caught up by the Cocoon on the Equalizer. In the mid lane, the Tomb locks up Maple. He Spirit rushes to the side. We do see in the background, Bengi comes in with the Sonic Wave to pick up the kill. Now, Stake running away as best as he can. He's burning from the Ignite. Wins in the background is going to fall victim as Sword Art is now being jumped on. He does get a stun down, but it's not enough as Piglet and Pumandu close out on Stake in the top lane, and they stack on the inner turrets.
This is really good for SKT. They're making much more aggressive moves than they were in the game one. This is a much more comfortable SK Telecom. We talked about them being a little bit slow when they first start out series, but it seems that they're such a strong team that starting out slow means they just won't win really fast. This time around, though, this could be interesting.
Such a corruption lance from NL doesn't follow up with anything else. And now the tower falls. That's the third of the game. Faker will be securing this tower if he decides to. In fact, the minions should be able to close this one out as well.
Yeah.
Unless anyone gets here in time. Doesn't look like it. And that's going to be 4 towers to 0 in favor of SK Telecom. 10,000 gold in the lead. Stand United hasn't even been needed in those previous fights. It was so far ahead. Here's a replay of the mid lane.
So it's going to be Faker making a lot of just early bursts that can't be dodged here. And just the flash W guarantees. Bengi's stealing away, but no big deal. And this is just Mandu setting things up. He went boots of speed, but first Impact's getting caught.
So Impact is being chunked down. Stand United was used. In fact, now we see him. He taunts out over the wall. Feint is up. He's got a couple hundred hit points, 380. Still taking everybody on a walk. Just a matter of time before they close him down as Maple is joining from the side. The thing is, how long do they stand? He's still alive! Sonic Wave comes in. Impact runs! Impact is not dead! Impact gets away from 3 members of Gamma Bears. And now SK Telecom turn it on. The Claw of Doom comes in. They root Stake in place. That's a self-cast from Faker to slow down the Gamma Bears. They manage to pick up a kill. It's Impact that closes out Wins, and they turn the focus onto the rest of the Gamma Bears. There's a minion wave behind them. We'll see if they stick around for the tower.
And they certainly got the ability to push if they want to, but some reasonably low health bars. Says SKT, you know, let's just take the safe objective here. We know that the Bears are stuck in their lane. We'll take a dragon and secure off this. And you're just seeing now how far ahead SKT are. They're warmed up. The Flame Spitter might have helped that happen. And now they're just ready to go.
Such a great pickup there. Second dragon of the game. Now 13,000 gold. And Impact ran away from 4 members of the Gamma Bears. He tanked them up. He even managed to re-engage on that fight and secure the killing blow onto Wynn's Elise. Wynn's Elise right now 1-4-1. He's behind on CS. And as we've highlighted, he's been present on the map, but he just hasn't made it count. Not like Bengi. 3-1-6 on that Elise. I believe this will continue his 100% win streak on Lee Sin here at the Worlds.
Definitely the case for these guys. And you're just sort of seeing the high skill level of the SKT members, right? Both of these junglers are skill shot based. Okay, sure, you can jump in there with Repel, you can jump in there with Safeguard, but you still got to land the skill shots to make anything happen. And time and again, Bengi is making the openings, jumping in and kicking someone back, jumping in and diving a turret. Rush's non-combat items still has better record in fights.
Oh, here comes Faker. He has just melted Stake. And that was just a massive burst of damage.
That was just brutal right there. Actually rushing the Deathfire Grasp to give more burst damage out there. Again, accentuating the ore damage might be low, so I'll build damage items and destroy you anyway. And SKT just going to continue the siege. I don't think they even need to play the Baron dance. They've got enough damage out of it. They can play a siege game and close it out.
Tower number 5 secured. The rest of SKT group up in this mid lane, and now they turn their attention onto the first inhibitor turret. Even with the charm landing on Pumandu, the Orb of Deception does not. And SKT are in a commanding position right now. They have minions on the top lane, minions in the mid lane, and it's just a matter of time before they set their sights on one of these towers.
And they're going to look for the mid lane right now, actually. 5 members in there. Charmlands and Impact. Might be a fight.
It's not the target you want, though. Tibbers goes down, doesn't catch any of the priority targets. Equalizer goes down, and most of SKT avoid it. Pumandu's going to be the first victim, as we see Shen unable to land, thanks to the Stand United. Bengi forced to flash over the wall, and SKT caught a little overcommitted. A single kill for Gamma Bears.
But think about what that fight could have been for Gamma Bears if they had actually used their cooldowns on someone who wasn't impacted. That is the single member of SK2 who is actually poised to take that kind of damage. Mandu died without Tibbers. He died without a lot of the initial burst from the Gamania Bears lineup. If these guys can actually get a real team fight. I mean, maybe this is overselling their chances here, but we've seen crazier comebacks, and the Bears have a team fight composition. If you've got to hope for the Gamania Bears, you hope for a well-executed 5v5.
Well, we'll see Piglet actually securing the blue buff this time round. Let's see, he's picked that up. He's going to return himself to the jungle, continues farming up those large buffs. Faker once again with a massive CS advantage, 220 to Maple's 133. Numbers are fairly close across the rest of the board, but with so many dragons and towers and global gold down, Gamma Bears are 14,000 gold behind. That's roughly 50% difference there that SKT is ahead, and we'll have to see how they decide to close this one out. Faker now with that Zhonya's Hourglass completed. He not only has the ability to use that Frozen Tomb on himself, he can follow it up with an Hourglass, and it's even more difficult to kill him because of all that additional invulnerability that he has.
And it's much more likely now for Faker to target someone with the ultimate there. He can just chain all his abilities down, basically wait for the cooldowns during the Zhonya's on himself, and basically remove Maple from the fight. Now realize that Maple still hasn't completed his own Deathfire Grasp, whereas Faker has his plus a Zhonya's. Like, let's just highlight how far ahead Faker is right now. A full item, 4,000 gold. Like, there's just such a massive lead here for SKT. They're walking bags of gigantic stats.
Yeah, it's so difficult for Gamma Bears to pull themselves out of this one. We do see Baron has been started. There is a ring of wards around the red buff area here, so SKT will be well aware of any sort of invade. The piercing arrow goes out. Baron down to 6,000 HP. Gamma Bears going to try to engage in this one. They've got no vision, though. That's a flash over the wall. Impact does catch him. Look at that. Massive damage from Impact. The Ring of Frost locks him up for a couple of seconds. Hourglass has not been used yet, as the first victim was Maple. Spear Rush not even used. Now the Hourglass by Faker keeping him alive. NL does throw down the barrier. In the background, Sword Arts Ignite lands down the final tick of damage, but that is a 3 for 1. Gamma Bears get out, but Baron still stands, and it's just more control from SKT.
And look at the decisiveness of SKT. We actually talked about that in their game 2 win over OMG, and they all came over the wall. They all bursted down right away. Maple did not get to do anything. Flash and Spirit Rush still available. Wasn't allowed to do that because Faker just deleted him in that team fight.
Well, there's one thing that we've learned from the 2 games that SKT have played here today, is that they are more than happy to pull you towards Baron. It's an old fake and switch and immediately jump on you. There was no hesitation to hop over that wall. Here's actually a replay of the fight.
So watch Maple here. You ready? The claw comes over, and the flash W into goodbye. Just completely bursted down. You don't get to flash or ult while rooted, so Faker didn't even have to stun his opponent. Smart of him to wait a little bit on that cooldown. The Zhonya's well timed. NL, I like the move there. He flashed, I think, a Q actually from Faker, but unfortunately didn't have anything else to do in that fight.
Couldn't get anywhere far enough away, only sitting on a Bloodthirster. You compare NL's Varus, Bloodthirster, Berserker's Greaves, in comparison to a Hex Drinker, a Cutlass, and a Trinity Force. That is an immense difference here. Piglet going with a slightly different Ezreal build than we've been seeing, but against so much magic damage, that Hex Drinker is probably one of the best items you can pick up.
I do really like that he stopped to pick that one up as well. And he doesn't need Blade of the Ruined King, but it's a strong item, especially when you don't have a lot of other multiplication there, because you can't multiply the proc damage anyway, so screw it, just get the attack speed from the Trinity Force from the passive and just throw damage at them. It's not bad overall, but it just wouldn't be the most efficient. But it tells me also that SKT are likely to play a fairly short game here in their minds. 24 minutes, they're looking at the Baron dance again, and once again they've got ward coverage. They could take it down or they could jump over the wall.
So Stand United is available here for Impact. He's not going to flash taunt this time round. He will piggyback taunt. Bengi is hanging out on the side. Piglet and Faker waiting to find a victim. Who's it going to be? Stake gets booted into the wall. The Claw of Doom goes up, but Faker doesn't follow it up. Bengi is alone on the enemy territory right now, as we see. Here comes Stand United. Stake is the first victim of this fight in the background as he gets taken out by Piglet. Now Pumandu running interference and bringing the box in place. A decent chain of corruption is going to slow down Bengi, but that's a double kill for Piglet thanks to those mystic shots. They're going to carry on chasing. Sword Art's going to be the third victim he has. Faker closes it out. Now NL way out of position. That's the third kill of the fight for little Piglet. Now Maple's in trouble. Claw Doom goes out into the Ring of Frost, and that's 3 for Piglet, 2 for Faker. They're on the inhibitor turret. This could be game.
This is very likely to be the 2-0 here for SKT. They started the group stage 7-1. They're looking to end the quarterfinals 2-0. They've got to look forward to a best-of-5 against Najin's Sword later on in the week. SKT really showing they are taking no prisoners here. Their decisiveness is here. Their decision-making is crisp. And they're playing some very good League of Legends.
Playing this one safe as well, even with those minions, they don't decide to close it out. Here's a replay of the fight.
Yeah, so they jump in, and I like the decisiveness to actually wait here. They didn't actually just immediately jump in. No one went onto the equalizer. Once it's down, then SKT engages. Mondu gets caught out. That's not a big deal because he sets up the rest of the fight, and the front line is able to dive in there, make everything happen in that battle. So I like that they are able to all go in together, but also all wait around a little bit together and not take really silly risks. It's always been a strength of SKT, is they don't really take silly risks.
And you've also got to remember the zoning potential of that glacial path that is Lissandra's E, the ability to just roam. And when you see that thing coming at you, you panic. You're like, I don't want Faker or Lissandra to rock up here and lock me down. And Gamania Bears were backing away. As it stands, 20,000 goal difference between the teams. Inhibitor down in the top lane. Inhibitor exposed in the mid lane. It's really just up to SKT to decide to pull the trigger. You have to feel that Gamania Bears will be going down 0-2 here in their quarterfinal matchup.
There's a real good chance that happens here. SKT, I'm trying to think if there's ever a game I've seen them actually lose from having a lead. I think it's pretty uncommon. And here these guys go. They're looking up towards the mid lane. Of course, they've got an exposed inhibitor down there. I don't see why that wouldn't be their point of ingress. And they can sync up the Nexus with the top lane. The Superman is already pushing in.
Stand United and the box will be available very, very shortly as those cooldowns do begin to pop up and become clickable. Right now, SKT, they go onto the inhibitor. They're bashing this one down. The rest of the Gamania Bears are basically hanging around on the sidelines. We do see NL has been caught. He's been kicked backwards. That's NL dead to rights. Now Stake will be the next one to fall. Who gets the kill credit? It's Faker as Piglet picks up his second. Now Wins is getting dropped down as Sorda in the background is crushed. A clean ace for SKT, and they're going to close this game out. They're on to the Nexus turrets, and SK Telecom T1 will advance to face Najin Black Sword in the semifinals.
Incredibly well played game by the Korean team, convincing 2-0 victory, warming up over the series, and then taking it home right here. 27 minutes, the Nexus goes down. Piglet didn't even die in that last game. 11-0 on that Ezreal. Gotta hand it to SKT. They definitely deserve this victory.
11-0-10 on Piglet's Ezreal. This is going to be an all-Korean semi-final. Najin Black Sword taking on SK Telecom T1, and that's a matchup that is going to be awesome to watch. But what a controlled performance here from SKT. They started a little slow, they respected their opponents, and once they got that lead, they never let it go.
And I actually have to compliment their champion select here as well, because they ran a bit of a different team. But so I actually want to point out something kind of specific, though, because I think it explains how they're able to win the late game so well. Once they were on blue team, they picked a lineup where every single one of them